Newbreak is a Canadian private junior mining company. We're in the process of going public. Hope to be listed on the Canadian Securities Exchange fairly soon. We have a number of properties in Ontario and in Nunavut. They're principally gold focused, but also host critical metals. In Ontario, our Moray property is located about 30 kilometers northwest of Alamos Gold's Young-Davidson mine. And in Nunavut, we have 4 properties located in Kivalliq region, which is the same region that holds Agnico Eagle's Meliadine and Meadowbank deposits, which those mines produced over 700,000 ounces last year. Our Sundog project was found by Ken Redding, who is the same prospector that found Meliadine. It's on Inuit-owned land, and we think that it has the potential to host a significant gold deposit. Our other projects, Sai, Angakuni Lake, and Esker, were staked through online staking when the Canadian government opened up online staking last January of 2021. Replacing on-the-ground staking. It's something we're very excited about. As I mentioned, we do plan on listing on the Canadian Securities Exchange. And so we did submit a preliminary prospectus to the Ontario Securities Commission May 6th. They've got back to us at the end of May with a comment letter. We're in the process of clearing those comments and finalizing that process. They'll then receipt the prospectus in final, and then it's about a 2-week process after that with the CSE to get listed on the exchange. One of the things that we've done that's a little bit different than others is a non-offering prospectus, because we've got sufficient financial resources to go public, and we've got the required number of shareholders, and that's something else we're very proud of. We've got 191 shareholders. We haven't used investment banks or brokers to do that. We've put that together ourselves. And the going public process, we've done a lot of the heavy lifting internally. So to date, we've paid less than $40,000 in legal fees, and with listing fees, accountant fees, legal fees, and everything. We're going to go public for less than $90,000. So I think we've done a pretty good job relative to most folks that go through the process. The key thing that investors, I'd like to look for in the junior industry is good people and good properties. And we think we've put together a great suite of properties. In Ontario, our Moray project, as I mentioned, it's about 30 kilometers north of Alamos Gold's Young-Davidson mine. Young-Davidson is hosted in syenite. And we have gold mineralization also hosted in syenite on our property. The significance of that is that syenite is an extremely competent host rock. So the average grade being mined at Young-Davidson is about 2 grams a ton. And that's extremely low for an underground mine. And they're able to do that and do it very profitably because they're able to use bulk mining methods because of the competency of the host rock. In addition, on our property, Moray, we've got a significant base metal target on the southern part of the property. And so in the latest budget, the federal government increased the tax credit for flow-through funding from 15% to 30% for critical minerals. And we believe that our property will qualify for that. So that should make raising money a little bit easier and be a big boost to people that invest in companies like ours. In Nunavut, as I mentioned, our Sundog project, we think that it has the potential to host a very large gold deposit. It was found by Ken Redding, who, as I mentioned, is the same prospector that found Agnico's Meliadine deposit. And there's tons of visible gold at surface, and the project's never been drilled. So we think that the potential is huge. On our Esker property, which we staked last July, it's had over 3,200 meters of historical drilling by Comaplex. Back in 1997, they had intercepts of over 2.25 grams per ton over 71 meters and 8.18 grams per ton over 13.27 meters. So extremely good intercepts. and it's never really been followed up since then. So we think that there's tremendous potential there. On our Sundog project, we've just received the approval from the Nunavut Planning Commission for a summer field season up there. And we don't have to get approval from the Nunavut Impact Review Board, which is huge because it means that it's a very easy permitting cycle, and we're basically ready to go. I think we've been very fortunate to put together folks with some big company experience and historical success that our shareholders get access to in a junior company. My background, I've been in gold mining for over 25 years, and I spent the first decade of my career, 6 years with Barrick, and then the rest with Kinross in senior financial positions. So I learned how to do things right from day one, and that's carried through to how we do things today, even as a junior company. Bill Love, our VP Exploration, was part of the discovery team that discovered Hemlo, which is one of the largest gold deposits in the world, and he's just an excellent geologist that's had tremendous experience working in all parts of Canada, so that's a huge asset to us. On our board, we've got a majority independent board. Andrew Malum is our chairman. He founded Lion Mining Finance, which was ultimately sold for a lot of money, and has been part of funding mines historically in Canada over the last number of decades. Ashley Kirwan is also on our board. Ashley is the co-founder, president, and CEO of Oryx Geoscience. She's been recognized as one of the top mining professionals under 40 and has been presented with awards for that. She's just a tremendous asset, a geologist, and provides tremendous guidance to us in terms of both the geology, the technical side, and she's extremely big on ESG, which is important, I think, in today's environment. So we've got, and then we've got some great advisors. Ken Redding, as I mentioned, who found the deposits in Nunavut, is an advisor. Gordon Morrison, who is past president of TMAC and worked at Quadra FNX. He's been part of 13 major discoveries, 6 of which are now mines. And then John Todd, who was instrumental in helping with the creation of Nunavut and former Minister of Mines and Finance in Northwest Territories, is a regulatory advisor to us in Nunavut. So we've got a great team of people and advisors, and we're very excited about the prospects of being public and be able to grow the company. It's interesting how people think about ESG. Some people think that it's a new phenomenon, but for those of us that have been in the mining industry for a long time, and certainly with the bigger companies, it's just how we've always operated. And it really comes down to doing the right things with your people, with the communities in which you operate, with the environment, good corporate governance. And so in that respect, I'm happy to say, even as a junior company and private, the majority of our board is independent. Our audit committee is entirely independent. Our corporate governance committee is entirely independent. We have policies and procedures in place that would mirror those of larger publicly traded companies. So, and then, in terms of dealing with communities, both of our properties are impacted by First Nations and Aboriginal peoples. So in Ontario, at our Moray property, we have a memorandum of understanding signed and in place with the Matagami and Matachewan First Nations. And as we do prescribed exploration activities, we pay them a certain percentage of that expenditure, so they participate alongside our exploration efforts. In addition, they're also shareholders of the company, and they've been given stock options. In Nunavut, as I mentioned, our Sundog property is on Inuit-owned land, and we've developed a good relationship with the Kivalliq Inuit Association, which is absolutely fundamental for moving the project forward. We've also, even though it's a very early stage, we've engaged with the Hunters and Trappers organization in Arviat, who again is a local community who's very worried about the potential impact of mining and exploration activities on their land, and they're very impressed with our plans for exploring the project, and we've got their approval to go ahead. So I think engaging the communities and doing the right thing is important. It's all part of ESG, but if you've done it for your whole career, then it's something that comes very easy. I think there's a lot of things to get excited about. In Ontario, we have just commenced our summer exploration program. And one of the things I'm very happy to say, even as a smaller private company, we were approved by the Ontario government for a $200,000 grant as part of the Ontario Junior Exploration Program. So the Ontario government's going to be paying for part of our exploration without any dilution to shareholders. We have a till sampling program planned for the summer, which is just about completed. We'll be doing trenching work and other survey work. And that's all part of the program that we've agreed to with the Government of Ontario under the Junior Exploration Program. Following the results of that, we can be looking at a drilling program, which will probably encompass about 5,000 meters of drilling on the property. In Nunavut, as I mentioned, we've been approved by the Nunavut Planning Commission for a summer field season on our Sundog project, and that'll be comprised of geological mapping and sampling and VLF and drone mag surveys. Because of how expensive it is to operate in Nunavut, you want to make sure that you do all the preparatory work to give yourself the best shot at defining your drill targets so that when you do spend the money on drilling, you do it very efficiently. I'd say my favorite memory is probably this year, and it's really getting back to seeing people in person. In May as well, I flew up to Iqaluit, which was my first trip to Nunavut to attend the Nunavut Mining Symposium. And again, it was a chance to interact with people in person and to share stories and ideas and perspectives on the industry and our projects specifically. And I think it's just a fantastic opportunity to be back in person, talking to people and engaging. And Zoom calls are great, but it's great to be back in person.